Guys, it's Karen here with another cocktail video for you. I hope you enjoyed the last one, and I'm sorry it's been actually a couple of weeks since I've gotten back to you, but it's been the holidays and everybody's been crazy busy, so I'm going to make it up to you tonight. I have two different cocktails that I'm going to make. After I posted the last video, some of my friends were still, I don't drink gin, great video, but I'm not going to make that cocktail, so I'm going to keep working on you with the gin, but tonight I'm going to focus on bourbon. I know a lot of people are much more enthusiastic about bourbon, and so I have a couple of different bourbons that we're going to work with today in two different cocktails. The first one I'm going to make for you actually uses some mostly ingredients that you're going to have in your pantry or your bar, hopefully already. If not, I've got a couple of things that you might want to try and you can easily pick up. Both of these drinks are great for fall, winters, or still having some cool weather and you want drinks that have a little more substance, a little more richness to them, a little more body. So hopefully that sounds good. So the first one we're going to make is called Brown Bomber, and this is a recipe actually out of the PDT cocktail book, which is a great speakeasy in New York City. And I haven't been there, but I have the book and I love it, so I definitely have been making some drinks out of that. So what we're going to start with is a pretty, well-known brand name, Knob Creek bourbon whiskey, and I've got my cocktail shaker already loaded up with ice. This calls 2 ounces of bourbon, so I've already kind of put this in my handy-dandy jigger here, and I'm going to toss that in. It also calls for something kind of unique, and again, you might not have this. If you enjoy cheese plates, you might have it in your fridge because this is great with cheese. You can get it at Whole Foods or a lot of more gourmet markets. And it's an organic Adriatic fig spread jam. That's kind of what the lid looks like. You probably would recognize it. You can find it usually in the cheese section of a lot of different shops. Just a bar spoon of the fig jam, and this is really actually a great tip. So gourmet jams are fabulous in a lot of different cocktails, depending on the time of year. In the summer, you can easily, instead of simple syrup, substitute raspberry preserves are fabulous, black cherry, and just add a bar spoon of that to a cocktail and shake it up, and it really gives a wonderful fruity flavor. So I do a lot of that actually. So just kind of scrape that in there. It's a little bit cold. I'll set that there. Then the next ingredient, again, something that's really well known and pretty common, is amaretto. I love amaretto. It's a little sweet for me to drink straight, but I love mixing it into cocktails because, again, it gives a little bit of sweetness, but isn't overwhelming, and the almond flavor that comes through with the amaretto is fabulous. So in this cocktail, you'll see we're going to offset it with some citrus, so you get a really nice balance of sweetness from the jam and the amaretto with a great burst of lemon because we're going to use a lot. It really only calls for, I don't know, maybe like half an ounce of amaretto, so again, not a lot. I'm not going to do a precise measurement here, but I've made this drink a few times, so I kind of have a feel for it. So I'm going to throw that in there, and I'm going to throw my shaker on here. Okay, and then I'm just going to mix that up a little bit to get the jam in. And then now I've got my lemon. I've got a whole half a lemon, more than you would normally use for a lot of cocktails, but with this one it's really fantastic. And I'm going to get that in there too. Okay, and I'll finish shaking it. And I've got my chilled cocktail glass, you'll remember from last time. So I'll just pull that out of the freezer, nice and frosty. And then what I'm going to add to this cocktail is a fabulous Luxardo maraschino cherry. Please, please, please do not buy regular maraschino cherries from the grocery store. I promise once you've tried these, you'll never go back. They're a bit pricey. I think the jar this size, probably about 25 bucks. You can get it on Amazon if you can't find it at your local Bevmo or gourmet food shop. They can be hard to find. Order them. This has probably lasted me 2 years. They really last a long time. And these are the original cherries that are soaked in this wonderful, I don't know if you can really see that, but it's a cherry syrup. They're just amazing. You can put them on ice cream. You can do a ton of amazing stuff with these. Buy these. Never use the fake dyed red cherries ever again. Okay, so I'm going to throw that in there. And I'm going to go ahead and strain my cocktail. And you can use a Hawthorne strainer like I did last time if you remember, or you can strain it straight out of your strainer. The Hawthorne strainer can be nice, although I set mine down and now I can't find it. Here it is. For this drink, because it'll let a little more of that fig puree come through, which if you want the texture, great. If you don't, great too. I don't mind it. I like to kind of see the fig seeds sort of like floating around in the glass a little bit. And that's your brown bomber. It's a really pretty color. Hopefully you can see it with the cherry in the bottom. It's really going to be citrusy, really nice flavor of the Knob Creek bourbon, so you'll enjoy it. Really refreshing. It doesn't taste like a stiff, kind of a Manhattan or a Sazerac or anything because of the fruit and the sweetness. It's really great. So I'm just going to set that over here, and then I'm going to move on to our other cocktail so I don't make this video too long. I'm really excited about a lot of stuff that I got over the holidays, and I can't wait to share with you guys. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm starting to make my own bitters, and I got this beautiful little bitters bottle for Christmas, and I've got it full of blood orange bitters right now, but I'll look forward to sharing some of my bitters making adventures with you over the coming months. Another thing that I'm doing is, I'll haul this baby out, I'm actually making an infusion, and this is a base spirit of vodka and brandy, and I've got some pears, some cinnamon, some cranberry, I think that's about it. And this has probably been going for a couple weeks. I'm going to let it go for one more, and then I'm going to strain it out and bottle it, and I'm really excited to see how that comes out. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next cocktail. Mixing in here. So this one also very simple, a few ingredients. You're probably going to have them pretty easily handy. One of the alcohols you might have to go get. It's kind of a funny one. So anyway, I'm going to start with a base of pear nectar. This is just, again, you can get it at the grocery store. I like the organic nectar as opposed to sweetened pear juice because less sugar and you get more pear flavor. The whiskey that I'm using, I'm really excited about this. It's called Eagle Rare. It's a 10-year aged and American, obviously Kentucky bourbon whiskey. And it's been winning some really exciting awards. For example, the most recent one I think was the San Francisco Spirits Competition where it won a gold medal. So it's got a lot of richness, orange, toffee, almond flavors. So sweet, rich, round, a little bit oaky. It's really nice on the rocks, just straight, but I'm going to throw it in a cocktail. And then my surprise ingredient actually is Goldschlager. A big bottle of this goes a very long way. You don't use very much at a time, but I happen to really like the cinnamon spice flavor that it gives to cocktails in the fall, and it goes wonderfully with apple or pear. So we're going to use a dash of that. I've already started my cocktail shaker. I've got it full of ice here, and I have 2 ounces of my Eagle Rare bourbon. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there, make myself a little room. And you're going to use equal parts of the bourbon and the pear. And I also already went ahead and put my pear in there to kind of move things along. So right now I've got 2 ounces each of bourbon and pear nectar. And then I'm going to put in just half an ounce of Goldschlager. And that's going to actually give it enough cinnamon where you could really taste the spice. But it's not going to make it overly sweet or liqueur-y or anything kind of, off-putting like that. Again, I'm not a big fan of the sweet drinks, so you won't get that from me. And that's it. 3 ingredients. It couldn't be easier, right? And you're going to see when we pour this and garnish it, it's just going to be really lovely and wintry. So you can serve this up in a glass coupe or martini glass, as I've done there. I'm actually going to go ahead and put it in just a sweet little vintage rocks glass that I have, just for a different look. But you can do whatever you have on hand or whatever you feel comfortable with. So I'm going to shake this puppy out. And there you go. And I like to actually go ahead and garnish this with a cinnamon stick. You can put it on the side, you can put it down in the glass. You can also put a slice of lemon wheel, or I actually like to do clementine. You get a lot of those small clementines in the store. One of those in there, a slice of pear, anything to just add a little bit of color and brightness. But otherwise, it's a gorgeous drink. And happy holidays. Really great. A lot of pear in there and a little bit of hint of cinnamon. So it's really fruity, a little sweeter than the Brown Bomber. But if you like kind of that flavor of pear and apple and cinnamon, if I make it with apple juice, sometimes I call it a baked apple. But this one, I guess, would be a baked pear. All right, you guys, have a wonderful new year. I hope everybody's doing great. I hope you enjoy the videos, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.